Startling statistics show hundreds of women die every year as a result of pregnancy complications, but it's one particular group of women that has a higher death rate.
And ABC4 News anchor Emily Florez joining us now on our side of the studio with this morning's story about what's happening with this death rate. What particular group are we talking about?
Okay, so this is such an important story, ladies. I'm really grateful to be able to bring this to light. We're talking about those marginalized women, specifically Black women. So you just said hundreds of women die every year. I don't mean to be boring for you and the viewers, but we have to talk statistics to make sure that people understand what exactly we're talking about. So first, maternal mortality. It's just when a mom dies during pregnancy, labor, or after, even up to a year after postpartum. So when I say these numbers, this is the maternal mortality. So according to the CDC, in 2019, there were 754 women who died as a part of complications, maternal causes. So 754 women, you guys. We're in 2019 talking about these numbers. We've done birthing for centuries. 754 women died.
This is across the country?
Across the country,
okay.
According to the CDC. Then in 2020, 861 women died. So the number is rising in women dying. But the numbers that are so crazy are, you see hundreds of women dying still, but the startling thing is for every 100,000 live births, 15 white women died. This was in 2020 compared to 55 Black women in 2018. So that's not just 1 year taking numbers out. Let me tell you this, in 2018, those numbers, still out of 100,000 births, 37 Black women died compared to, again, just 15 white women. So why is there this difference? Why is there this discrepancy? That's what we're going to be talking about in this story that comes up tonight at 6 o'clock, is what is happening in the healthcare system where there are more Black mothers and Black babies that are dying in this process.
Who did you talk to? And what are they saying about it?
Yes, so the doctors, we spoke to doctors. We also spoke to an incredible woman. Ashley Finley is her name. She's a really big piece of the story. She's a doula. She works in the healthcare system. She's an advocate next to these marginalized women while they're giving birth, to be their voice when they're in. We've given birth. We know that sometimes they're asking you questions and making decisions, and you're sitting there trying to have a baby and trying to make these decisions. So the doula is a big strength. So we'll talk about that. So the doctors were saying, this is another big thing, that 2/3 of these deaths are preventable. 2/3. So why is it still happening? 2/3 meaning that we know enough about the birthing process, about pregnancy, about postpartum, that these 2/3 of these women shouldn't be dying because we know enough to have prevented it. So why is this happening is the big question.
Well, we have so much technology, and I've heard similar things of this shouldn't. Many of these are accidents, and that is startling and frankly frightening to hear about. Why is this happening when it shouldn't be happening?
When it shouldn't be happening. And I think the hard part is everybody is so individual. Everyone's story, birthing story, pregnancy, postpartum is so different. But when we ask the doctors, why is it happening? A big thing that they're saying is that there is discrepancies within the healthcare system, that marginalized women, either maybe they're hesitant to go into the healthcare system because they're treated differently or they're categorized differently, and they're taken care of differently in these situations. So again, that's why Ashley Finley, who's a very passionate doula, says, I do my work because I want these women to feel safe and secure in the healthcare system.
Do we know how many of the births were in home versus at hospital?
Okay, very good question. This is one of the things. It's a growing trend to have more births at home because women feel more and more secure in their homes. I don't have that breakdown number, but that would be, this is like skimming the surface, Nisha and Sheree. I feel like this is a topic that we could go into a 5-part series
with. It needs to be talked about.
It needs to be talked about.
In the past. I think when you go in to have a baby, I mean, you two know, you don't think about you.
No.
You're thinking about that baby.
Yes.
And you're trusting so much about the healthcare system, the doctors, the team. Sometimes you don't get the doctor that you were aligned toward.
That you thought you were going to,
for
that you had the whole time.
Yeah. So many things can happen. And I'm wondering, and I don't want to give everything away because I want people to watch the story, but maybe the call to action is there something, a protocol that needs to change?
Yes, and there is. And I don't know how much time we have, so I'll just kind of summarize. You'll want to tune into this piece. I hope people share this piece because the information is power, and we want people to be informed so that they can feel secure as they go through pregnancy. We're in Utah. We have lots of kids there. What can we do? Some of the suggestions were having more diversity in our healthcare system, have more representation. Also, there was a bill that was just put forward and actually isn't going to be moving forward any longer, but the Dr. DeBink wanted to get a bill that said Medicaid coverage should last postpartum for at least a year for women, and that actually didn't move forward, but they're working on getting better healthcare coverage for all these individuals. And then, of course, more access to healthcare and really pushing for healthcare providers to check themselves and say, am I treating each of my patients equally? So we'll have much more coming up at 6 o'clock. I hope women tune in, and I really hope that this can be the beginning of a long series of discussion for
Emily
many.
Florez is our ABC4 News anchor, and we never get to see her here on Good Things Utah because she works